So, what do you do when you identify any of these symptoms in any friends or family?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things is difficult is, when you see somebody that you care about struggling, and they don't see it within themselves. And so the way I like to think about it is what are you trying to tell them? Are you trying to tell them they're depressed, or are you trying to tell them that you're concerned? So coming from a standpoint of, hey, I've been kind of keep watching you for the last week or two, and you just seem kind of sad. Like, I'm worried about you. I'm concerned about you. What's going on? And ask it from more of a stance of care and compassion versus like, man, you're depressed. You need to do something about it. That's going to put people on the defensive every time. So coming from a position of care and concern and just being like, hey, what's going on? Can I help you? Like, is there anything you want to talk about? I just see you struggling, and I'm sad that you're having such a hard time. Like, what can we do to kind of help? And to ask those questions from a care and compassion place. And I think you also have to be prepared to ask some of the harder questions. There's this misconception, especially around things like suicide and mental health, that if you ask somebody about it, that you're actually going to contribute to it. And that is completely incorrect. And so ask the hard questions. It's not an easy thing, but that's how you're going to find out information. And the number of times that I have had people walk into my office because somebody asked a hard question and saved their life because of it is more than I can begin to count. So ask the hard questions, tell people that you're concerned about them, and then and then the next thing is, what can I do to help you? Um, you know, do we need to get out? Do we need to like have walking dates? Like, do we need to go out and go to the movies? Like, do we need to go do something? What do you need help with? I noticed that you really hate cooking. I'm going to bring you dinner so you don't have to worry about it. Like, hey, I know that you're working on your car. Can I come over and work on it with you? To do those things again, to kind of bring community and so people aren't isolated. But I think the biggest thing is just talk to them. Hey, what's going on? I'm worried about you is a really good place to start.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to really emphasize that point that definitely do, be willing to ask those hard questions. And because I mean, they're already thinking this stuff anyway. If they weren't, they wouldn't
Absolutely.
be depressed. So they're
Yep.
already thinking it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, unfortunately, there's I don't know where that belief started, that if you ask somebody, especially around the topic of suicide, if you ask somebody if they're suicidal, then it's going to make them be suicidal. And that's just absolutely not the case. I've never had that happen. You're more likely to get a response from it that you can actually do something if you actually ask the question. If you don't ask the question, you can't do anything to help them. So to kind of step into that space again, it can be really awkward, can be really uncomfortable, but it's essential. And these are people you care about and you love, and you want to be able to help them. So asking the hard questions can really help somebody actually stop and think for a second, like, what is going on with me? What is happening? Oh, they're seeing something. Man, maybe I'm not okay. So a lot of times when we get isolated, we don't have a lot of input into our system. And so having somebody kind of give us that feedback can be really helpful. And you never know what kind of a change you're going to make in somebody's life by simply asking them a question.
Yep. And definitely making it more of a conversation too. Because, like you said,
Yeah.
if you just come in guns blazing and diagnose someone right off the bat without a conversation, that's not going to be received very well.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, yeah. I think it's again going back to the like what you're concerned. You care about them. You want good things from them. You're worried about them. You don't need to come in with that, I think you're bipolar or I think you have depression. eh, that's for somebody else with a really expensive piece of paper hanging on their wall to decide. I think your position as a family member or friend is just be like, I care about you, man. What's going on? Like, let's have a conversation about it. What can I do to support you? And that's definitely going to go much further.